Part 3. Then we're going to end it here with this video. I'm going to end it, the saga here, because of the simple fact that I don't have the charisma for these kind of videos that people want to see when it comes to talking about Bigfoot, stuff like that. So I'm going to go into a couple of stories, not my stories, but stories I've listened to on Bigfoot, as I crunch these Tostitos in your face and drunk some tea. Damn it. So some of the stories that I listen to, some of these crazy I've encountered on those channels are awesome. Talk about how Bigfoot has scared the dogs and all kinds of other things. I guess you have to sorry. You have to take these stories as serious or as grain salty as you would like. But there have been stories with Bigfoot appearing in the house windows that are off the ground. Like stacks that have a cellar but not a basement that's not connected to the house but beside the house. And the house itself would be on like pillars, podiums, whatever the hell you're going to call them, pylons. And the Bigfoot would be like 10 feet tall, looking into the house and watching women and men get dressed and undressed and all the other stuff. Now, those things are pretty tall, so it's kind of hard to not acknowledge that. There are also houses where there are basements and stuff, and Bigfoots have chased people into basements and have been in basements and don't know how the hell they got there, but they have basements that also have cellars that are connected to the house, etc., etc. And you just have to check all these stories out. Now, I'm not so much as a Bigfoot enthusiast. Or an enthusiast. I am a supernatural. I like fantasy. I like science fiction. I like horror. A lot of Bigfoot stories have that. There's also certain video clips and footages and things that you guys should check out. Also posted on those stories, on those channels, and things like that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because people want evidence. It's in our nature to seek what we don't understand, to hunt it until we find it, hopefully understand it in a peaceful manner, which is not always the case. It's the same thing when you ask people about like spiritual beings attacking them. I've been in experience of that. And it's also the same as when you ask someone about alien abduction and shit. Because, just like all things in life, there are good and bad in everything. In every nature of every person or living being, there are good and bad beings. There are good spirits and there are bad spirits. This thing makes movies, life imitating art, and reality being smashed, or as Deadpool would like to say it, breaking the fourth wall is awesome. But, you know, what if you can break the fourth wall? What if you can see through the veil? What if you are connected on some level or another? You've just been blocking it and ignoring it and putting all your feelings off to the side. Well, here's the thing. It is said that the human beings only use 20% of our brain power. So that's probably why we don't pay attention to these things. We don't pay attention to shadows that move behind us. We don't pay attention to strange photos, or you look in the mirror and you turn away but your reflection is still there facing you and waving. We don't know. The scientific community and some governments aren't willing to breach these lines because, what's the saying? Be careful what you let in your front door. You may not get rid of it. Same thing when they tell you about fucking with Ouija boards and other supernatural shit. Don't play with the dead. Don't fuck with the supernatural because you may not be able to control what you unleash. But the same can be said for these Bigfoots. Now, most of the encounters on these channels, they're more curiosity than threatening. Now, there are some very threatening stories on these channels that they are narrated to. And there are very peaceful ones in these narrations, which is why I said at the beginning of my other two videos and my intro video that myth and legends change tribally. If you guys like this stuff, I can only point you in a direction. So just type in Bigfoot on YouTube. I'm probably not going to make this the base thing that I do, because I do believe in Bigfoot. I do believe in fairies and unicorns and all the other supernatural things that you can possibly think of, because there has to be some truth to it. Not just because I believe in God, but the simple fact is there are a lot of things out here on Earth itself that has not really been explored. And they also make good movies and good stories to write about. And besides, no matter what your ethnicity is, everyone has legends in their ethnicities, in their cultural backgrounds that make great stories. Now the thing is, defining which one is actually a story, which one is a myth and a legend. My graphic novel, which I talked about in other videos, Love 13, they are a combo of the myth and legends with a story twist that I put in my own spin. Because as far as I know, Coyote and Thunderbird are both shapeshifters. But I know they're both Native Americans. I don't think that the Europeans have them. In fact, I know that the Europeans don't have Thunderbird or Coyote because those are mostly Native American heroes. I also know that they don't have the Deer Woman, and they don't have the Polar Bear Ice Guide that the Eskimos have. Just so that you guys know, I did do my research before I started writing, or as I was going along, because being part Native American, tribal legends are passed. My great-grandmother, Ada, did tell me tiny stories, but she died when I was 12, or when I was 6 or 8. She died, but I was one of the only grandchildren on my dad's side that actually spent time with her. So I remember the stories. I just don't remember the age I was when I was told the stories. She did tell me some stories. I can't remember if they were pertaining to Bigfoot, Coyote, or Thunderbird. But in my subconscious, I can remember her telling me stories. I just don't remember what the fuck the stories were. That way it doesn't seem like I'm telling you guys a lie and putting my grandmother Ada under the fucking bus. Alright? When you are a kid, you have learning experiences from different parts of your family. Now, since my family is part Native American, but only do the black thing, it's kind of hard to connect. I do have a tribal family. I have never met them because Ada never took us back to the reservation in which she came from. As I have done research on her, they marked her as mulatto instead of Cherokee Indian. And there's a Native American guy who's pointed that out on YouTube also, so you guys can find that. But anyway, I am going to have to do a genealogy test because I need to get my college courses cheaply paid for. And supposedly, the more Native American you have in you, the cheaper college is. There's no such thing as a free ride, but it would help me a hell of a lot to prove that I am at least 40%, and then that would at least get some of my fees knocked down. Now, before I end this, because of Native American rights and stuff, I want to talk about that also, but I will make a complete different video on Native American rights and stuff like that, because I've been having problems with the Native American Bureau of Affairs, so that's not here or there. But as far as Bigfoot and tribal legends and stuff are concerned, Bigfoot is by far one of the most tribal legends that you will ever hear of. And again, it changes tribally, and the thing with that is that each tribe has their own tale of the wild man, the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, the Skink Ape, and it just depends on what Native American depends on what Native American Indian tribe you tend to stumble on, because each one of them will definitely tell you a different story. My grandmother being Cherokee, whatever story she told me, some of it's in there, some of it's not. But I do know that Coyote is not Cherokee, and I am pretty sure the Thunderbird and the Bigfoot are in the Cherokee mythos. However, you know, we kind of got to do some fact checking, because you have good spirits and you have bad spirits, and you know, you kind of got to run around there. I know that in China, demons are revered as heroes and villains, and the ninja took that policy where in China, the ninja came from China and went to Japan and just like mastered all the stuff. So for those who don't know, ninja actually originated in China, not Japan. However, that's neither here nor there. We're on Bigfoot. When it comes to the legends of Bigfoot, there's a movie like the Boggy Creek Monster. I think I'm saying it right. I might be wrong. I seen it when I was a child, and you guys should probably check that out, because it's also about Bigfoot. And I have no idea in the blue universe of hell where the hell Boggy Creek is. But wherever it is, they did make a movie about it. I seen it back in the 80s. I was like maybe 10, 11 years old when I seen it. I was 173, so between 83 and 85, somewhere in there, the Boggy Creek Monster had came on TV. I was in Smithville when I watched it. Therefore, I know exactly where I was when I seen it. I was at my roof's house. I watched it in their dining room area. Alright? So, that being said, you know, you have to understand how things work. The Boggy Creek Monster, when I watched that down there, it wasn't too long after that there was a Lizard Man. Lizard Man came out right too long after that. All of a sudden, in the more modern era, now we have things called the Dog Man, which is essentially a gigantic ass werewolf that's not a werewolf. Does that make sense? If not, these same channels that do Bigfoot also do Dog Man. They have rarely ever touched on the Boggy Creek Monster. They do touch on the Skink Ape, because Skink Ape, Bigfoot, Yeti, all those guys are pretty much the same. They do talk about Gigantopithecus. They talk about a lot of stuff that I can't really go into detail because it's their thing. My thing is Kung Fu. Alright? And all the nunchucks swinging in the world ain't got shit on Bigfoot. So if I'm walking through the woods with my nunchucks and Bigfoot comes in, I think I'm going to aim for his throat and pray I knock out all his teeth, and then I hope like hell that I can outrun the son of a bitch. Or, if I'm really blessed, I meet a great, nice Bigfoot. So let's pray that happens. It is 11 p.m. in Charlottesville, Virginia. I gotta go bring the dog in. So this is the third and final video. I was gonna go 5, but I'm pretty sure I'll be lucky if anybody actually watches the first 3 plus the intro. So I'm gonna stop at 3, but I want you guys to do what I said. Type in Bigfoot on YouTube. It will take you to almost every single channel there is. Dipsy Cryptid, BFRO channel, the other guy. I can't remember none of their names. But just type in that. It's not the same as if you type in Mass Effect and go to all the Mass Effect people who didn't really support Andromeda but made me want to buy it. And I'm the only person who actually enjoyed the game. So there's that. In the end, just remember that all myth and legends have some truth to it. And all myth and legends change from ear to ear, from tribe to tribe. I'm James William Sr. This is Compound number 2. Be seeing you.